William Morrow and HarperAudio present The Book of Dragons, an anthology, edited by Jonathan Strahan. Performed by Matthew Waterson, Lorna Bennett, Eleanor Caudill, Feodor Chin, Mimi Chang, and M.W. Cartozian Wilson. My armour is like tenfold shields, my teeth are swords, my claws spears, the shock of my tail a thunderbolt, my wings a hurricane, and my breath death. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit, or There and Back Again. Introduction. When my two daughters were very young, I used to tell them bedtime stories. I'd make the stories up each night, but never managed to write them down, much to my youngest daughter's frustration. They were stories about a girl named Jasmine, who lived not far from their grandmother's house, and who kept her dreams in a snow globe on her bedroom dresser, safe from a witch who sought to steal them, and of her best friend, a small orange dragon named Marmaduke, who was wise and brave, and helped Jasmine to understand how she could save herself. Marmaduke even engaged in some glass-blowing, not too long after a family vacation during which we watched a glass-blower at work. The memories are hazy, but I think the glass-blowing had something to do with the unmaking of the world, which seemed a lot for such a tiny dragon, but magic can make heroes of us all. My own first memory of dragons, if it's possible to isolate such memories, given how pervasive dragons are in our culture, is probably Pete in the not particularly excellent Disney film, Pete's Dragon, in which a young boy finds an invisible friend, Elliott, who helps him when he needs it most and brings adventure into his life. If I can't quite be sure about the first dragon I encountered, it's hard to forget the many that followed, the greatest worm of them all, Tolkien's Smaug, raining fire down on Lake Town in The Hobbit, followed by Yvode, and the archipelagos of Ursula K. Le Guin's A Wizard of Earthsea, the white dragon Ruth from Anne McCaffrey's Pern, Naomi Novik's Temeraire, and George R. R. Martin's Dragons of Westeros, Rhaegal, Viserion, and Drogon. What do all of these great and mighty dragons have in common? Perhaps that they reflect some aspect of ourselves back to us through story. They can be wise friends and counselors, devious enemies and fiery opponents, and pretty much everything in between. Malin Long, in R.A. McAvoy's Tea with the Black Dragon, is a wealthy older man who simply wants to help a mother find her daughter. But it seems he is also a 2,000-year-old dragon. Lucius Shepard's great and maligned Grial from The Dragon Grial, possibly the greatest dragon to enter fantasy literature in the past 30 years, is a slumbering beast the size of a mountain range on which towns and villages are built, and whose human population both depends upon and hates him in equal measure. Dragons, it seems, have always been with us in story, and although I am not a researcher of folktales or an ethnologist, I could be convinced that dragons can be traced back to the first fires around which our distant ancestors gathered, inspired by dark places beyond the light of the fire and the reptiles that lived there. I'm much more skeptical that they are some sort of species memory of dinosaurs, but let's not rule that out. Regardless, the way we see dragons depends on where we are in the world. In the West, the image of the fire-breathing four-legged winged beast arose in the High Middle Ages. Perhaps a variation on Satan, the Western dragon is often evil, greedy, and clever, and usually hoarding some terrible treasure. There are the dragons of the East, long snake-like creatures seen as symbols of good fortune and associated with water. Serpentine dragons, like the Naga, are found in India and in many Hindu cultures, and are similar to the Indonesian Naga or Nogo dragons. Japanese dragons like Ryujin, the dragon god of the sea, are also water creatures, and so on around the world.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?